Hello, everybody. We're so glad you guys could make it. So a couple things that we wanted to mention first before we get started with your questions is that the deadline for getting the questionnaire into us is actually Monday, November 8th. I think we put Friday on the letter that went out, but it'll be Monday, November 8th is when we need that back. When you are sending your questionnaire, we do want to remind you to please send us your logo as well, your company logo. And then I also wanted to let you know, because we got a little bit of feedback. Some folks didn't get the questionnaire with the for the email that we sent out. So if needed, we can certainly send that to you guys in a different format. Just let us know, because I believe it got sent out as a Word doc. So it may have gotten blocked by some folks' email. So just let us know. And I think now we're going to go ahead and open it up and get some questions from you guys.
Sandy, I'll first start off with, we created this page as we were getting questions back, Sandy and I, from many of you. And also we put in the technical information that we had shared via the email that went out last week. So I wanted to kind of run through this quickly in case it triggered any new questions. And then we can wait till the end. Unless you need any clarifications, raise your hand. Kim will help me. I'm going to keep my eye on the prize here, but Kim's good about keeping her eye on the hand waving. So, all right. So some of the top questions. What is the new platform? It is Ivalua. So we'll no longer be with Ariba, SAP Ariba. The next thing, UNSPSC and NIGP. That was a hot question as well. The system is NIGP, but we understand how suppliers use UNSPSC and will handle that conversion or mapping between the two and still support UNSPSC for punchouts in your static catalogs. Unit of measure. The units of measure from eVA will also be in the new system. So that shouldn't cause any problems as well. All right, moving on down the list. Here's one. How will subsequent orders generated by the new Punchout catalog be sent to us, since we'll no longer use Ariba? Here we go. There's 3 options now in the new system. You can either opt to get an email that will notify you of an order. And as noted here, there will not be the actual order details won't be provided in that email. It'll be a notification only. It'll have a hyperlink to the order in eVA. And you can log into the eVA and you'll now be able to view your orders from within eVA. And at that point, you can email or print the full order right from eVA. No more Ariba network. All right, then the other option is CXML EDI integration. So that will still be supported in the new system, which I know we've gotten several questions about that. Okay, moving right along. Some of the technical logistics here that I brought over from the email that went out. Punchout setup request, CXML will not be changing. Here is additional information about some of the extrinsic tags that are currently sent. Unique name, user email, as well as the ship to will still be supported. Punchout setup response, CXML will not be changing. Punchout order message, CXML will not be changing, and will still be supporting the extrinsic tag for hazardous material. There is one slight change to the Punchout order message CXML in regards to contract number. So here I am right here. Previously, we were having to send back some XML tagging within the supplier part auxiliary ID field. With the transition, we'll be able to have an extrinsic field for eVA contract number, and you can pass it via the extrinsic and not have to use the supplier part auxiliary ID. So that should be a lot more direct and easy. Okay. Still on Punchout testing. We do have a test Punchout site capability in our UAT environment, similar to how we do things now in current eVA. And you will be able to test your Punchout connectivity if you so desire and have the ability. The next 2 blocks here talk about the domain and the IP addresses in case you need to update any firewall rules or any other security that you have at your site for the Punchout site. Okay, and that was provided in that email. Okay, so that's really, I think, it for the technical overview that we provided in the email last week. So we've been gathering questions from many of you and have put these out here as well, because we figured if you're asking, other people are probably wanting to ask the same questions. So I'm going to run through these and then we can see what else, what other questions we have. So non-contract catalogs that need to be loaded, what format will be used? We are happy to announce that we will be supporting Excel, and that will be the format of choice for the system. And catalog files will now be uploaded directly by you, the suppliers, as part of from your eVA supplier account. Next question, will we be placing CXML orders within this new platform? Absolutely, yes. And also EDI is supported. And we already addressed the platform access to the Punchout catalog and emailing PDF orders previously. So I'm going to move on to the next one. Will any of the Ariba network setups stay in place for us as the supplier? Unfortunately, the answer is no. We aren't going to touch your Ariba network account at all, but the Ariba network is no longer going to be utilized by the system. So this means that your eVA supplier setup will need to have that any information that doesn't get converted over. We will be converting your eVA supplier account into the new system, and anything additional that was in your Ariba network account that you want to put into your eVA account, it will have to be manually entered. So here we go. Your Ariba network account, as we said, will not get converted. Any additional setup and preferences for the new platform will need to be set up in the new eVA manually. Oh, note here too about Punchout. CGI is handling the Punchout configuration now, where that used to be on the Ariba network. It's actually an administrative feature in the eValuate software. So we are requesting your credentials and we'll be entering that connectivity information from the administration of the eValuate site. So you don't have to worry about entering those details, and it'll help with troubleshooting. Okay. Next question was, if there are pieces that need to move to eValuate, and when we'll get the specifications for the e-catalog, electronic PO, and electronic POA. Several questions buried in there. So catalogs on contract in eVA. I'm going to highlight this here. We now have an integrated system, so buyers can directly purchase from the contract. They will no longer need to have a SIF, a static catalog for your contract items if the contract is in eVA. So that's a huge benefit we're really excited about. Any catalog that are not on contract, or if the contract is not in the eVA system, suppliers will still need to provide the catalog. And again, in that Excel format. Electronic PO, popular question, CXML EDI will still be supported. And additional information is going to go out specific to that conversion and setup process, similar to how we did Punchout, the message that went out last week. So look forward to that in the next week. Electronic PO acknowledgement. eVA is not requiring this currently. Ariba network static catalogs. So there were some questions about anybody who uses the Ariba network for catalog management. eValuate has a supplier portal that provides suppliers the ability to self-manage their catalogs, and then you're able to upload them directly into eVA. That takes the middleman out and gives you more control. So we're excited about that feature. Static catalog conversion and updates. So non-contract static catalogs will be getting converted and loaded into the new system. So you don't have to worry about uploading those as part of the cutover and the transition. Then these will be accessible via your supplier account for you to manage going forward. Oh, eVA catalog management for static catalogs. There is an approval process before they actually go live into eVA and are available to end users for purchasing. Suppliers will be able to see if the catalog has been approved and posted and when that happens. So there is some catalog oversight and management still, but there won't be all this emailing back and forth and a way more direct process. Okay, and then the final question that came in a little bit ago that we're still tracking down the answer for is logo files. What formats are supported and any size limitations? So I am tracking that down and we'll get an update and share that when we send out this FAQ from this Q&A session. So based on that, we are ready to open the floor to any new questions. These were just ones that had come in the last few days. So based on those, what questions do we still have?
We do have a few in the chat. If you want to pull up the chat and we can go through those. We use the same location codes as were used in Ariba as ship to address ID.
Good question.
And that was asked by Judy. So Judy, thank you.
Yes. So as part of conversion, there will be a new unique ID assigned to the ship to addresses. And if you are doing validations based on that, we will need to provide you that updated export of the address data. We will still have that for any converted ID, any converted addresses. We will have the old address ID as a point of reference, but it won't be maintained going forward. So you will need that new Ivalua unique key.
So we'll want to add that to this FAQ and make sure we get that question updated.
Yes.
So excellent
absolutely.
Question. And
yes,
does Ivalua
absolutely.
have a test environment, which I think that yes, we've absolutely answered that one is being stood up and you will have access to that if you need it.
Yep.
And then assume you will also accept CXML invoice. Is that correct?
So invoicing is not part of the initial rollout. So that is going to be down the line. And the priority is the punch outs and the CXML order transmission. But
Awesome.
Ivalua does support invoice, shipping notification, the additional CXML functions that you suppliers are used to.
Which will all be exciting enhancements. So how are we to invoice you is the question.
So I will need to take that back. I haven't been working on the invoicing part and what the functional design is for that. So I will get back to you and again, add that to this FAQ.
So we will
Lori,
absolutely.
Lori, this is Ismail. Can I answer that question? Yeah,
absolutely.
So the electronic invoicing is not currently rolled out in the initial go live. Commonwealth is obviously looking to automate that as well. So please stay tuned. We will keep you updated on those plans.
But the good news is the system supports it and that is on the radar. Okay.
And
so
when will testing for CXML POs begin? So again, that's not part of the scope of this specifically. We can go back and research if we have a timetable around that. And I know that for people that are interested in that specifically, we are creating a communication that we're working on that's going to address some of this.
Yes. Okay.
And then recap how suppliers will be notified when a PO is generated. So the new system, the platform that we're transitioning to, it is going to allow you to access your orders directly from your eVA vendor account, supplier account. We're using that word interchangeably. So you'll get a notification from the system. And then you will also be able, when you log in, to see your count and be able to acknowledge orders. So, and we also are creating how-to tutorials and fact sheets will help support this training prior to us going live.
Ooh, they keep coming in furiously.
Yes, yes.
So I'm gonna, I think we skipped over the eVA customers. Ooh, eVA customers using Ariba with a specific vendor have already moved to another B2B provider outside of Ariba. Oh, what if any eVA customers using Ariba with a specific vendor have already moved to another B2B provider outside of Ariba? So I'm not sure I understand the question.
Everyone
for-
who is using the eVA platform is using the same platform. So if it's
Okay.
if it's a Commonwealth, this is a Commonwealth entity. And if they are a local government or public body who do not use eVA, then that would be whatever platform they're using. They're not using the eVA platform, but everything will come through the eVA platform and now be powered by Evalua.
Perfectly put. Thank you, Kim. Okay, so the next one, is there a cutover plan for the transition from Ariba to Evalua? Of course. We are still fleshing out the details and the timeline for that, and that information will be shared globally to all vendors and buyers to avoid any confusion. So the timeline for that is still being finalized. So the high level plan will be shared with everybody once it's available. But the January 1st is the target date to start the system. The transition time period. I think January 3rd is the actual, it's going to take a few days, right? The go live date would be January 3rd, but the transition I always have in my head is January 1st.
Right. So we're going to have a cutover period that is still being planned to be a couple of days leading into the new year, with go live, everyone starting to resume work in the new platform starting January 3rd. There have been initial communications that have gone out to our general suppliers. This communication can be found on our transition newsroom, and there is a section specifically for suppliers, and that transition newsroom is located off of the eVA website homepage. Also, if you click on your vendor login from the eVA website, you'll also see a duplication of that message there. But yes, this transition is taking place with, like what Lori said, January 3rd being our go live date.
Perfect. The transition newsroom. I love that. Okay, so make sure I didn't miss anything. Make this window bigger. Oh, there it is. All right, much better. So orders then and invoices will need to be supported manually across the Evalua network. CXML orders.
Yeah, I was going to say that's different. Go ahead.
Right. CXML orders are supported. Invoices are not. So maybe I'm missing the manually part. Should only be for the Evalua, or sorry, the invoice part.
And for non-CXML vendors, you do have the ability, of course, again, like I was describing, to access the orders directly from the new platform. There isn't the need to have that Ariba account to access those electronically any longer.
Right, which is great. Okay, is there an API for this new platform? If so, where can we find information on the API? So I'm not sure what you're using the API for, but there, for the CXML integration, there's definitely instructions that we will be providing. And for the punch out, it's just the connectivity that is set up on our side, similar to how the Ariba network had the configuration authentication credentials. So additional APIs, maybe you could provide what business function you were looking for the APIs for. Okay. Oh, here we go. Will the supplier be assigned an admin and can then add individual users and roles? Yes, that is similar to how, I don't think it's considered an admin. I don't know what the naming convention is on the supplier side, but you definitely have the ability to add individual users to your supplier account.
Yep. And then there was a message sent to me directly. Does this mean I have to log in every time to get an order? Depending on your setup, no. So again, we are going to support the order delivery through CXML, correct, Lori?
That is correct.
Yep.
But for those who are getting it via email and they would just look at the email, that email is now a notification. It is not including your actual order details. So you would have to log in to see that if you are configured for email delivery. When you receive an order, oh, here we go. When you receive, hey, Cindy, when you receive an order by email, will the credit card information be accessible? And do we need to log into eVA to see the card number? You'll absolutely need to log into eVA to see the card number. Now, I can't remember, I haven't been involved in this part. The security around P card has always been strict in our current system, and we mask everything but the last 4 digits. And I know this has been a cumbersome thing in the current system in transmitting P card information. So I'm not, Ismail, are you, or Jatin, are you, either of you aware if the
Yeah,
full credit card is showed?
Yeah, sorry, Lori, I'll try, right? We are we are looking to keep that functionality mainly because of the whole security concerns around it, right? So
PCI.
yeah, exactly, right. We haven't fully fleshed it out. We will update you on that, whether you could fully see the credit card number or not. There is 2 schools of thoughts. You know, it'll make it easier for you to do business, right? At the same time, we are exposing the Commonwealth's credit card information to other people, right? So that's the risk there. So we'll definitely keep you updated on that.
And I'm sure you're all not surprised. I mean, PCI compliance is only getting stricter, and it's considered sensitive data. So there's a lot more, you know, audit requirements around that as well. Okay. Oop. Okay, Michael. For example, VCU is using Jagger as their B2B provider. What does the path forward look like?
So Lori, let me try that there too. So VCU obviously was part of eVA, and they started pursuing to, you know, offer a separate platform, right? But Commonwealth enterprise-wide will be the eVA platform, and as you heard today, we are moving that to an iValua-based platform. So that is going to be the standard going forward for rest of the Commonwealth.
All right, thank you. Because yeah, I didn't know what Jagger was.
It's
so
the
I
old
appreciate that.
SideQuest, Lori. So.
Oh, okay. Okay, Raymond, does the new network have the ability to email POs with the full content visible in the body of the email? I'm actually not sure. I asked this question and I don't believe it is, or if it is, it's a customization that is not being pursued at the moment. So we can put that on the list of something to look into, but it definitely not for January.
And Roland actually has their hand up. And so let me go ahead and unmute yourself. You're welcome to ask your question.
Okay, thanks. I actually
That's so much easier.
Yeah, yeah. I actually have a few. Just trying to get some clarifications on the questionnaire.
Sure.
So for that Punchout buyer control URL, are we just basically indicating if our system uses OCI or CXML?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, okay. And then for the URL, is that where you want or where we should have the Punchout requests go to?
Yes.
Okay. And then password, is that the shared secret?
Yes.
Okay. And lastly, for that HTTP method, what is that in relation to exactly? Because it's just get or post.
Right, exactly, right. And I think whatever you're doing should currently work, and I don't think it's going to make a difference. Do you know whether it's post or get?
I'm not positive.
Yeah, and that's just, yeah, either one is supported and works. It's just the setup to make the request uses that information.
Okay.
I think most are a post, aren't they?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you could find out and just let us know which you're expecting on that request.
Okay.
Okay. Sure.
And then
anybody else, Kim?
Michelle, yeah, Michelle, you're welcome to unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, sorry, it might just be easier because I'll be honest, I'm having a hard time following. So what you're saying is any customer who's connected with us directly. We have a number of the customers across the state that are using, outside providers to connect with us via a B2B platform. What you're saying is those connections will cease to exist in January? I think that's where I'm getting confused. Because this is the first I've heard of any changes. None of those customers have come to me with these changes yet.
Are you talking about specifically using a rebuff to support other clients outside the Commonwealth?
Well, for the longest time, let's just say I'll use that VCU as an example. They did use a rebuff, and for their catalog, their PO, and I think their invoice. Well, they ceased using a rebuff. I'm not sure why, and moved to Jagger, which used to be SiteQuest. And we have a direct connection through. We have a catalog and a PO and an invoice integrated with them via that platform. Does that platform cease to exist when these changes take place? I think that's where I'm losing it a little bit.
They
No.
have their own system that they've created, again, like Ishmael made reference to. We have some entities that are Commonwealth entities, but they have autonomy to do things outside of the eVA platform exclusively. So VCU would be an example where they have some homegrown types of tools that integrate with you differently than if you're interacting with a state agency that has the requirements to use the eVA platform for functionality like, punch out catalog interaction and that type of thing. And then Lori, do you want to expand on that?
Right. I mean, this is for anybody who's coming through the current eVA system. Any other systems that you integrate with are outside the scope, and they shouldn't be changing how they're integrating with you.
Oh, phew. Okay. Because I was going to say
they're outside of my scope, so they're outside of yours.
But I understand how that's confusing because they are Commonwealth, quote unquote, under the umbrella of the Commonwealth. But again, just to draw a better picture for our suppliers, we have state agencies, we have colleges and universities, and then we have local governments and public bodies. So depending on the path that they choose to do business, there could be some differences. And that was an excellent question for clarification. So thank you for bringing that up.
Okay, thank you. Because I was going to say I would need more time than just a couple of months to get them moved. So good. That's good to hear. Thank you very much for the clarification.
Yeah, you're welcome. And then Jim, is there a way to tie out orders programmatically if orders fail to resend via CXML?
I'm not sure about the resend capabilities, but that's something that I will look into and include for that CXML communication. So that I'll take that as an action item and make sure we address that as part of our CXML conversation.
Perfect.
I did highlight one that we did miss. Will all suppliers have the ability to integrate CXML POs, or is there a spend threshold that needs to be met? Initially, we're trying to target anybody who is currently CXML in the system. We want to support them working in the new system as a priority, but there is no spend threshold to limit who can have that integration set up. Oh.
And then are we heading into our year-end freeze, which goes through mid-January? Do you have options to meet separately with suppliers who may have difficulty meeting the deadline? Oh, sorry, Stephanie, you say you are heading into your year-end freeze. Okay. I'm like, we're not, but okay.
You're reading it like me now.
I know.
Skipping words. Yeah, absolutely. We are flexible. I mean, we have a lot of suppliers, as you can tell by just the number of people who've joined this call today. And everybody has, different issues and, technical details. We will be working with staging and getting people set up and trying to test connectivity. The system is not cutting over till January 3rd, which, so we can work with you on that, on your specific timeline and what that means to you. Definitely we are flexible, but the January 3rd data is not going to be flexible for the system wide, but we can work with you on your individual needs and get ideally something set up ahead of time just to verify connectivity. So we can work with you on that.
And Cindy, yeah, is there someone to help you with this questionnaire? If you have specific questions, Sandy, are you definitely the point of contact for that?
Yes, you can send your questions to me and I'll probably get Lori to help me with the questions that we need to help you answer.
Cindy, most of this information will come right from your Ariba network account, as we were walking through with that other gentleman earlier, and we can help you with anything else. And if not, any punch out provider could answer any questions or gaps that we still have then.
And then
So,
you absolutely have the ability to test prior to going live. And yes, that's something that's part of this frequently asked questions document that's highlighted here. And just to restate that, yes, that you will have that ability, and they're standing up a test environment that CGI is hosting if that is something that you need access to versus having your own.
okay, Raymond, can a user log into the new platform and remain logged in without being timed out? Or is there a timer set in the background to automatically log users off? I can stop right there. Security and is tight. I think the current is 60 minutes and we may have to bump that up because of VITA standards. So it's not, do you know if we have to tighten that tighter than 60 minutes? Do we have to go down to 30 minutes for the audit compliance? If not, we can double check that.
Yeah, I think so. Let's actually confirm that, and we'll post all these answers to you guys in the
Yeah.
transition.
So that's really driven based on the Commonwealth security standards. I hate to be logged out as much as anybody. So I'm not happy about, security taking over our lives, but this is unfortunately out of our control. So we just have to, get direction from the Commonwealth and the security policies.
Yeah, having said that, Lori is correct. One thing that is really changing though is these timeouts have been introduced a long time ago, but the security posture has been kind of tightening every year, right? Given what's going on in the world, right? So don't be surprised if we come up with a lesser timeout limits.
Yeah. It's going to happen. I know we've been trying to push it off for a few years now with the SEC 525 standard. So, okay, eVA Help Desk is still your first point of contact, and they can always get Sandy and I. Additionally, especially for this enablement period, you will have a contact person, Sandy, myself, or somebody else that we designate will be your primary contact for the transition. And then once we are live, and if you have issues, it'll just be like current eVA now, with where we call the help desk, or you could reach out to Sandy. So not much is changing there once we're up and running. Okay, Judy, is the from credential on the POSR the same as what we used in Ariba, or do we assign something new? It will be Ivalua as the user. And I should probably put that. Is that on the form? Maybe not. I think I might have just kept it for us. So from credentials, I'm going to update that. And if there's anything else like that that you would need, I'll take a look. Okay, this is the first time I've taken a note and looked up and there wasn't a new question. We're making progress, everybody.
No, I think
good
these
news.
have been all great questions. So we
Definitely.
do have a 20 minutes allotted left. Are there any additional questions? And I'd also like to say, if we conclude and you think of something, please make sure you get that question over to Sandy Stanley. She would be that point of contact to make sure it gets added to this FAQ. And then Sandy, what's our timeline for getting this FAQ updated and getting the playback of this meeting along with those answers out to everyone?
I think we're hoping to do that within the next day or so.
Okay, so there you go. We will definitely get something to you by next week. I'll give you a little bit of extra grace there. Because we are definitely running full steam ahead and making sure that we get everything covered for you. So again, if you have any additional questions that pop to mind, please make sure you get them over to her. How do I
I
get
saw
the
the
logo?
EVA logo. We should be able to provide that.
We can provide that. There's a logo package that you can actually go in and fill out a form and it will send you that logo package. But we're changing logos. So you're the first to hear this. And I don't even know if I'm speaking out of school by saying it, but I know we're doing it. So while you might be updating your logo, just know that everyone will probably be updating their logo use when we roll out our new logo, which will correspond with when the new system goes live. So we can get you the link to the logo package request for our current logo. And then again, it will be changing. So I just didn't want to send you something and then be like, no, you have to change it a couple months from now and not tell you. So yes, Roland, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay, hey, me again. So I know you mentioned that the from credential was going to be Ivalua. The questionnaire says that's the sender credential. I just wanted to confirm that those are both going to be Ivalua, or from is still configurable.
Okay, let me double check that. Maybe I'm getting confused. Jitin,
Lori, I was gonna
hear-
say, clearly it comes over is our ANID number for the Commonwealth of Virginia that ends in 3.
oh, sorry. You're right, I was getting confused. I'm not sure. Jitin, are you aware of what that is? Okay, if not, we can get that for you. He might have had to have dropped. So.
I'm still here. Yeah, so for the from value is the value that is like the user ID value. So that can be, it's the user login to connect to the supplier site. That's the from value.
Okay, so that can be configured. We just give you a value to use, and then that'll be what gets sent over with the request.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Thank you. I messed that up. Okay. Okay, and it's configurable. Alicia just asked that. And typically is within Ivalua. Oh, yes, and I know you have experience with Ivalua. Okay. Okay, anybody else? Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't have
then
any additional questions coming over. So
no hand raising.
no hand raising.
Okay.
Thank
Okay,
you
great.
guys so much for all of the great questions, taking your time out to attend and help us think of things that we have not answered that you need answers to. If you have any follow-up, again, please get those to Sandy Stanley. She will be updating our FAQ based on your questions today and providing answers. And with the additional questions around the CXML ordering, we will be getting a communication together, sending that communication out to suppliers that directly affects. We will also make sure that we get you a playback of this meeting that was recorded today, so you can rewatch it if you feel inclined. And if you have any future needs, make sure that you reach out to Stanley. Anything else, ladies?
No, I'm good.
All right. Sandy's shaking her head. All right,
Thank
everyone.
you
Well,
all.
thank you for your time, your attention, and your
Thank you.
attendance. And we will hopefully be getting all those questionnaires returned from you soon. Have a great rest of your day.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.